Hey, what's going on, guys? Motonosity here. Today I'm going to be showing you guys the best GoPro setup for your helmet. So if you don't know me, I've been making motorcycle videos on YouTube for over 8 years now. I've gone through a lot of helmets, a lot of cameras, and a lot of setups. And this is the best GoPro helmet setup that I've ever had. And I'm going to show you guys how you can do it too for every single helmet. If you missed my last video 6 years ago that I did on my helmet setup, I switched to doing this side mount for the GoPro so that I could mount the GoPro on the chin. And the reason that I like mounting the GoPro on the chin is I think that chin setup is the best place that you can mount your GoPro. Yeah, you can put it on the side, you can put it on the top, but if you want to give people the best view, the chin is going to be the best place to give the most realistic experience to people watching the video. Now, the problem that you run into with a lot of helmets is that on the chin, it's not completely flat. And if you want to have an actual good, stable mount that's not going to fall off, not going to get ripped off, you're going to want complete coverage of the GoPro mount on the surface. So that's why I switched to doing this side mount and then using extensions to move the camera to the front so that it was completely centered. Well, eventually people started making these extension arms, and so I switched to that, still able to get the camera to the front, but this is still a little bulky. So in iteration, I don't know, 17 of my helmet setup, I started using the chin mounts, GoPro mounts. Now, along with this and everything that you see in the video today, it will all be linked down in the description so you guys can get exactly what you need to make this setup. So chinmounts.com makes specific mounts for every single helmet, almost. Definitely all of the most popular helmets. This one that I'm using right now is the Ruroc Atlas 2.0. This is the Mercury colorway, but this is their specific mount for this helmet. It uses the same 3M adhesive as any other GoPro mount, so it gets rid of that whole sidearm setup that I had before. It also makes it a lot easier to set up. Getting this setup on the side to be level and centered is pretty difficult when you're managing so many different arms coming around. The chin mount setup is pretty foolproof. You just peel off the sticker and you paste it down. Now, pro tip, whenever you're putting anything on your helmet using some of this 3M adhesive, always heat it up with a heat gun or a hairdryer before you put it down. Getting it really, really sticky and tacky will make it bond a lot better than if you were to just put it on cold. The next step in this is using one of these extension arms, and I believe that you can have this added to your order on chin mounts. Otherwise, you might already have it in your GoPro kit, or you can order it yourself. But it's just one of these regular GoPro adapters, except it has a little arm that sticks out a little bit. So it gives you a little bit more flexibility to move around your GoPro so you get the right angle depending on what motorcycle you ride. GoPro started using these really nice mounts that attach to the sticky mounts that include these little rubber push downs. And what these do is they basically lock in those tabs so they can't be pressed in. It also prevents a little bit of a shake on the camera if there was any. So if your mount doesn't have that, you can get these little rubber inserts like that just press down in just like those and accomplishes the same thing. So then you got the mount on here. Next step is the GoPro. Now I've been using the Hero 5 since it came out. I've tested every Hero other than the Hero 8 since it came out. And the Hero 5 is my favorite. I just like the image quality that you get out of it the best. But if you do want to use the Hero 8, you're gonna need to buy an adapter for the battery door that includes a hole for the microphone input. It's really cheap. I'll link it down in the description, but that's what you're gonna need if you want the Hero 8. The Hero 8 is really nice. It has a fold out mount, so you don't even need to put the GoPro in a case to be able to mount it on something. Now there is a reason I like the Hero 5 over the Hero 8, but I'll get to that in just a couple minutes. Moving on, we have the microphone adapter. If you want to be able to talk into your GoPro, you're going to need this adapter. And the reason that I've set it up like this is I like to have this mounted as close to the helmet as possible. There are additional cases that you can buy that'll allow you to mount the microphone adapter on the GoPro mount itself, but I think it makes this look a little bulkier. So what I did here, I just bought myself some of this 3M adhesive and I cut it to the size of the GoPro adapter. Again, all this stuff will be linked down in the description so you can get that 3M adhesive as well. Heated it up, put it on the GoPro adapter, heated it up again, and mounted it to the helmet so that it was the exact position I needed to still be able to plug it into the GoPro. So that is that whole setup that you see right there. After you got that set up, next up is the microphone. Now I'm using the Purple Panda microphone. I probably used maybe 15 or 20 different microphones since I started, and the Purple Panda has been the best one that I've found. I know some people have external audio setups, but I really don't think that you're gonna notice any quality difference by using an external audio setup that would justify the hassle of dealing with an external audio setup. So I'm not even gonna cover it. I'm trying to show you guys the simplest solution, just having a microphone that goes direct into your GoPro so that all of your audio, all of your video is in one file. That's what I'm gonna do. Purple Panda microphone. This is the one to get. Now it's gonna come with a lot of different adapters in the kit. Just know that you'll have the microphone. It's really long. It'll plug into the short adapter, and that'll plug into the microphone adapter. What to do with all that cabling? I have the majority of my microphone wound up, but what you're gonna wanna do with that is just thread it around inside your helmet underneath all of your cheek pads. Every helmet's gonna be a little bit different. There's gonna be different places that you're gonna wanna put the wire that would work a little bit better than others. So you're just gonna have to check out your helmet, take out the cheek pads completely, see what areas you have behind them. For the most part, usually you have a lot of space underneath the cheek pad on the side, underneath, like towards the bottom of where the strap meets the shell. That's where I found the most space. But what I really like about the Ruroc helmet, at the bottom, there's a kind of small space where I was able to fit the adapter where they plug into each other. So from the port, cable goes inside with some gaffer tape on the outside. That stays down, it looks nice and clean. Goes down in here. The plug is right here. That winds around the back of the helmet. Then in the space on the opposite side that I came in, the extra wire is in that small space. And then from there, the microphone goes under the cheek pad and it sticks out just barely to the front of the helmet. Now I recommend the Purple Panda microphone because I think the audio sounds great, but probably more so than the microphone you're using for good audio is the helmet that you're using. Every helmet is gonna have its advantages and disadvantages, and those are gonna play into whether you can get really, really, really good audio or okay audio. For example, the Ruroc Atlas, really, really, really good airflow. The disadvantage of that is that it's more wind noise that you're gonna be having to deal with on your microphone. The Shoei RF1200 has far less airflow, but that means less wind noise. But on top of that, the space in the front of the RF1200 on the inside is very, very small. And the more airspace you have around your mouth, the better audio you can get from your microphone. So on the Atlas 2.0, there's actually more airspace around the mouth, in my experience, than on the RF1200. So it's a little bit easier to work with. Few tips. I believe the Purple Panda comes with a wind muff, dead cat, windsock, whatever you want to call it. It's just going to be a little furry thing that you put onto the end of the microphone to block out wind noise. Use it. 100% use it. Next tip. Play around with how close the microphone is to your mouth. You're gonna wanna have it in the middle of the airspace at the front. So not up top towards where your visor is, not down at the bottom where your helmet stops. You're gonna want it right in the middle. So that way it's the farthest away from any sort of wind noise that it can be. And then from there, you're gonna want it just barely sticking out from your cheek pad. From there, you can play with the distance that the microphone is from the cheek pad. Too close to your mouth and your voice is gonna get blown out. Too far away and you're not gonna be able to hear your voice as well over any sort of wind noise. So kind of just play with that a little bit. For me, I've got it sticking out maybe like a quarter to a half inch from the cheek pad. And that's gonna get you to this point. Now you got your full-fledged GoPro helmet set up on the chin. Looks real clean. Looks like it came this way kind of. And you're gonna get the best positioning for your video and really good audio. But there's a lot more that you can do for having really, really good looking video from your GoPro while on your motorcycle. You guys have been asking for it, and here are my full settings to get video as good as mine from your GoPro. But you're gonna need this. This is an ND filter, neutral density. Basically it's sunglasses for your camera. And what this does is allows your camera to shoot at a lower shutter speed and thus get more motion blur out of your photos and your video. So as a rule of thumb, you're always gonna want your shutter speed about double what your frame rate is. I shoot at 24 frames per second, not 60 frames per second, because it gives the most realistic look to the video that you're gonna get on any sort of camera. For those of you that have been watching my videos for a while, you'll notice that the sides of my image have a nice motion blur. Everything directly in front of where my head is pointed is really, really clear, and that just makes it look really realistic. Also, when you're going fast, it makes it look like you're going way faster. It just looks really, really nice. Now, ND filters, you get what you pay for. I used to use ones by Freewell. They broke. These ones are by Lens Skins. More expensive, much higher quality. The image that you're gonna get out of them is nicer, and they're a lot more durable. They have a rubber finish on the inside that makes it really easy to pop these on and off without worrying about it breaking. With the changed form factor on the Hero 8, they changed how ND filters need to attach. And I haven't tested it, but with the Hero 8, the only ND filters that are available now have a main attachment that goes on the camera, and then all the filters attached with magnets. And I don't know how that's gonna behave when you're going 100 plus miles an hour, but with this isn't coming off. I don't care how fast you're going, it's not gonna come off. But if that's what you have, and that's what you wanna use, I'll link the ND filters for the Hero 8 in the description as well, so you guys can try them out. Now this is an ND32. The number just determines the stops of light that you're reducing by. 32 is good for bright, very, very sunny days with little to no cloud cover. An ND16 might be for a sunny day with a lot of clouds. And then an ND8 or 4 would be good for like really dark days, and then no ND filter if you're filming at night. The settings, you're gonna wanna establish that shutter speed in the camera. So like I said, I shoot at 24 frames per second. I manually set the shutter speed to 1/48, and I like to set the max ISO at 3200. Anything higher than that is just way too noisy of an image. It's gonna look bad. Turning my camera on, I'll go through every single setting so you guys know what I have set up. So I got 4K, 24 frames per second, super view. I do GoPro color, auto white balance, max ISO of 3200, shutter speed 1/48, low sharpness. Now I shoot at low sharpness because the GoPro processing for sharpness is not great. So I set it at low, and then I just add sharpening when I edit my videos. For the audio, you want it off. You want the raw audio track. You don't want any additional processing on the audio. Video stabilization I have turned off because it's not gonna work with the ND filter. The GoPro needs those clear pixels on the edge of the image to properly do video stabilization in the camera, so I have that turned off. Auto low light is turned off because I have all my settings manually set, so I don't need to use that. And for the audio control, you want stereo, not wind. Your wind sock is gonna handle the wind noise for you. You don't wanna turn on the wind option on your GoPro. Now, the final thing that I'm gonna leave you with, I have a special LUT that I use on my videos that I've created myself to get the image color to look how I like to have it look. However, for you, if you're just looking to improve your image, once you throw it into your editing software, you're gonna wanna bump up the sharpness on the image, you're gonna wanna bump up the contrast a little bit, and you're gonna wanna add a little bit of saturation. But of course, everybody likes a different image, so do what works for you. Now here's a little bit of test footage to show you exactly what this setup is gonna get out of your helmet. At least if you have this one right here.
It's been a long time since we had a sport bike ride together out in the hill country. 2020 R1, 2017 CBR. I think he's giving me that. I think he's giving me that. There's no way I'm beating him that bad. You just gotta crank it.
So that's gonna get you well on your way to having the absolute best GoPro setup that you can have on your helmet. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If it helped you out, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. It really helps this video show up at the top of YouTube search results. And if you're interested in seeing more of my videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications so you guys get notified of every video that goes live. Got quite a few bikes back here that you guys will be able to see on the channel. Don't forget, all the products that I use today are linked down in the description so you guys can check them out. Other than that, you guys have been awesome. I've been Motonosity. Remember, life's better with the horsepower. Keep life lived. I'll see you guys in the next one.